Robbins never thought he would be inducted to the Ski Hall of Fame. As he told friend and fellow writer Phil Johnson, "The people who are in the hall all earned their place. I was just their typist." Not to Todd Lodwick or teammates Johnny Spillane, Brett Camerota, and Billy DeMong. To them, Paul was much more. And that's why this past February, Todd carried a Scottish tam, Paul's trademark, to the medal stand when receiving the silver medal in Nordic combined at the Vancouver 2010 Olympics. The man in the tam, so recognizable in the sea of heads in a press room, dedicated his career to telling the story of the often back-page silent sports athletes, our American skiers. He started writing about ski racing in the 60s. In the 70s, he was invited by entrepreneur Tony Wise to help publicize the World Cup cross-country ski races at Telemark Lodge in northern Wisconsin. And so began a 30-year career covering all facets of ski racing for the U.S. ski team, including commentating on Nordic sports for CBS and NBC. His tenure covered 8 Winter Olympics, from Lake Placid in 1980 to Torino in 2006. But more than a press correspondent, USSA President Bill Morolt will tell you, Paul was a walking lexicon of facts on ski racing. And Paul didn't just remember times and distances, he remembered the athletes.
They don't have a Bjorn Daly, they don't have a Thomas Alsgaard, so that really kind of levels the playing field. Today, I think, we're going to see a little tighter match throughout the race.
As Olympic gold medalist and Hall of Famer Donna Weinbrecht describes, Paul wrote about athletes like an athlete. He felt how and why we do what we do. Paul got it. He not only got it, he worked tirelessly, often around the clock, to tell it in a voice ski jumper Jeff Hastings called part E.B. White, part P.T. Barnum. For up-and-coming journalists like Peggy Shin, he was also there as a mentor, sounding board and comic relief. As Peggy wrote, Paul was undoubtedly the most prolific ski writer in North America, perhaps the world, and he would do anything to help a fellow writer. He was all heart. How could his give out? Paul was at his desk on February 24th, 2008, working on a ski story when his life ended with a heart attack. He was 68. Gone, but certainly not forgotten. At least 3 awards have been established in Paul's honor, and tributes to the man and the tam continue, including after the Nordic team's win in Canada, when some of his closest friends gathered on a tree-lined spot overlooking the toughest part of the cross-country track to bury his ashes. The ceremony was a promise NBC correspondent Peter Graves made with Paul back in '97. They agreed if the other didn't make it to the Olympics, his ashes would. Have you ever tried to put words to what it feels like to ski? Describe the physics? Explain the geometry? Stu Campbell did, and he was a master, not only at the art of carving a turn, but at detailing the process on paper, skills he spent a lifetime working to perfect. In the beginning, he raced Nordic, Alpine, and even jumped as a 4-event competitor at Middlebury College. After college, Stu taught high school English and coached, turning out a number of championship teams in Vermont, a sign that he had the instincts to make better skiers. He took that gift to Stowe, where he was not only a PSIA member of the ski school, but part of the PSIA demo team, and in 1973 became a PSIA examiner. As a writer, that talent turned out 6 books, starting in 1974 with Ski with the Big Boys. Race photographer Malcolm Reese illustrated the book, using a new technique of sequential shots. The blend of words and pictures attracted the attention of Ski Magazine and landed Stu a job as instruction editor, a role he filled for 30 years. Mort Lund called Stu a ski editor's dream and a model of clarity in his technical thinking. Through his writing, Stu inspired skiers worldwide, but he also played a major influence on the industry as a ski tester, consulting for 16 manufacturers who valued his mechanical understanding of how a ski worked. His wife Carol remembers his attention to detail was so acute and his feet were so in tune with what was happening on the snow that he even carried a stone in his pocket to stop on a run and rub out a bird edge. From the first visit in 1953 with his dad, Stu considered Stowe his home mountain. But in the late 70s, he took a job at California's Heavenly Valley. Over 18 seasons in South Lake Tahoe, this Renaissance man added even more to his resume, directing skier services and coordinating World Cup events. Summers, he and Carol returned to Vermont to garden, another subject that kept Stu at keyboard. In Stu's words, the art of skiing is ultimately the search for sensation. For him, skis were tools for sculpting space on the tilt, and he encouraged readers and students to use skis like a draftsman's compass to scribe arcs on snow. In his 64 years, Stu received a host of awards, but one of the most moving was on September 11, 2008, just months before he ended his long battle with cancer, when the Vermont Ski Museum honored Stu's lifelong commitment to our sport with the first Paul Robbins Ski Journalism Award. At the gathering, Stu shared these words: "Get up on the mountain and make lots and lots and lots of turns. Every turn you make is good for the soul." Now, these two snow scribes will forever be partnered again as we pay tribute to their dedication to our sport and how their words have made a difference by presenting them the highest medal awarded in these United States, the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame Medal of Honor.